Hello everyone and welcome back to another commentary from Regan and Dan's movie sessions. My name's Regan, obviously, and once again with me is my good friend Dan. Hello Dan.
Hello, we are not even like...
Yeah, let's just say that when this episode goes out it will seem like, oh, we've just recorded for the first time in a few weeks. No, we are literally recording this straight after the one that we did for No Way Home, so we're nothing if not consistent.
We're still on the couch.
We're still on the couch.
We've got alcohol now, though.
Yeah, we got the alcohol out for this one, which is weird, because you usually get the alcohol out for a movie that's not very good, whereas, well, you've seen the title of this one. This is a brilliant film, that being Alien from 1979, or technically 2003 if you count the director's cut, which is the one that we're going to be watching.
The best version of it.
Yeah, well, the best version for us, I'm sure Ridley Scott actually said that he prefers the theatrical cut. But we'll get into that a little bit later. I'm sure we've both got some random factoids and stuff about Alien.
Oh, probably, yeah. I mean, I've watched this film that many times, there's probably some stuff just ingrained in my head without my own knowledge.
Oh, absolutely. So, we're going to get right into it. Now, we're watching the director's cut on the 4K Blu-ray, but it doesn't really matter how you guys watch it at home. Just set your time code to 0 and press play. Now. Fox is going to absolutely copyright the hell out of this, even though Fox doesn't exist.
Gonna get like a cease and desist.
Gotta say though, I've got such an ingrained memory for that Fox logo in Alien Isolation, for just getting all broken and stuff. There's going to be a lot of references to Alien Isolation, and I think Dan's already having a bit of a seizure. Well, luckily you can't do a commentary for Alien Isolation. Put the drink down. So I would love to say that I saw this movie for the first time in 1979. I'm not that old, unfortunately. I haven't seen it then.
I mean, we're getting there. But
we're getting there. Oh yeah, we really are. I can distinctly remember, I think when I can't remember how old I was. I think I might have been 15. So this is only in the last decade or so. This is at the point when I'm finally allowed to watch 18-rated movies, play 18-rated games, because my household was very, very strict on that sort of thing.
Yeah. See, the weird thing is, right, they weren't really bothered about the 18-rated games. The 18-rated movies, however... Yeah,
it was a bit of an awkward one. But eventually I was like, I just went to my mum and I was like, you know what, I have a hankering for watching Alien. Would you be able to get us the box set? She's like, yeah, sure, go on then. And then literally about 2 days later, she rocked up to my room and was like, right, there you go. So I turned off all the lights, shut all the doors, shut all the curtains, even shut the window, everything, and I just experienced Alien for the very first time, and I walked out of that a very different man. Like, to say this is a classic of every single genre is an understatement. Alien is important. I think that's the best one word.
Important.
Yeah, like, if this movie didn't exist... Cinema
Cinema would be very different.
Yeah, cinema would be very, very different. And
sci-fi would be very different.
Yeah, and even if they'd shot this movie in the 70s and never released it, and released it for the first time now, I think it would still work. Absolutely. What about you? What was your first
Funny
watch
enough,
of this?
It was the first proper classic horror film I ever watched.
Right.
Before that was just like sort of the many like slasher films out there. I mean, I remember watching a few of the Nightmare on Elm Streets, a vast array of the Texas Chainsaw films. I mean, like the original, the remakes, all that kind of stuff. But this was the proper first time I sat and watched a horror film, like a classic horror film. And I just came out of the living room like, wow, did I just like watch that?
Yeah. I mean, it's funny how, especially when, as far as the franchises come, I don't find myself watching this movie nearly as much as maybe something like Aliens, which we will get to. That one, you don't really need to be in a specific mood for Aliens. It's a bit more accessible than this, I think.
Yeah,
but
this is one, like if you just want to get the pants scared off you.
I mean, for me, it's weird. Like, I don't find this movie terrifying. Like, I'm not jumping all the time, but it's just the feel of it.
I would have loved to see this when it first came out.
Oh,
I mean, granted, we'd be old buggers, like, but...
Well, especially considering, like, the budget of this was, like, $4 million, and then when they started seeing the dailies and the script, and they're like, right, we'll bump it up to 8.4. Like, it's a very low budget movie, but it looks
like it's made out of like a ridiculously large sum of money.
Yeah, it's funny how Ridley Scott and James Cameron both have the ability to take something really, really small in terms of budget and make it look a lot more expensive than it actually is.
I mean, like, we're not even into the film yet, and it's just camera shots of all the stuff around the ship, all practical stuff.
Oh yeah, it sets the tone immediately. Like this is not space as you know it. Like even the tagline, in space, no one can hear you scream. You will be terrified of space. That's what it does well. But I think the other thing as well is that usually with science fiction, especially with space, there's always a sense of wonder and awe.
Oh yeah.
And I love this. I mean, we'll see this more when the characters start popping up, but I love how none of them are wowed by space.
Yeah, it's just like a completely normal thing to them.
Yeah, it's a job. Like, that's all they're here for. And I was like, never before has, like, even astronauts, I suppose, in that sense, I've never felt as realistic as this.
Yeah.
Right, I'm sorry, even saying the little red symbol on the door, and I'm like, again, alien isolation.
Yeah, you're just praying there's nothing sinister behind that door.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Everything in this movie is so important.
Mm-hmm.
Like, just the cinematography, just before you even get to the characters, it's just marvellous.
Yeah.
All the stuff coming to life, bit by bit, and it's just... wow.
Yeah. No, absolutely.
And that Jerry Goldsmith score.
It's funny how Jerry Goldsmith does the theme tune to this and also does the theme tune to The Mummy, and you'd never realise it was the same composer.
Yeah, you would not put two and two together, would you?
No, he's very, very varied, but I do love his theme for this. And the other thing I also really appreciate with this movie is the fact that, yeah, you've got Tom Skerritt as top billing, because he's probably, like, the biggest name actor.
Mm-hmm.
You could argue maybe Ian Holm, but he was more for, I think, television and theatre than movies.
Yeah.
You don't ever really know who the main character is until further on, and I actually think that works in its favour. It was a bit like one movie I actually quite like was from 2017 was that movie Life with Ryan Reynolds and Jake Gyllenhaal, and that one, yeah, you've got a couple of big names in it, but then they kill off Ryan Reynolds within like the first hour. Spoilers. And it's like, oh, okay, it's not that kind of movie. Anyone's up for...
It's kind of like this, isn't it? Anybody's up, anybody's game now.
Yeah, exactly. And I do actually, it really builds the tension really, really well. Because I think if it was like a big name actor, it's like, yeah, okay, it's fine, they're safe. Like, no, not at all. And again, just even something as mundane as just having a meal together.
Just sitting around having like futuristic breakfast / lunch.
Mm-hmm.
It's just human.
Yeah, everyone just feels...
At no point you're like, oh yeah, these guys are definitely like from another planet. They're not.
No. It was like I said, truckers in space.
Like, they're just complaining about work policies and stuff. It's what any human does.
Oh yeah.
Talking about work.
Policy, pay. That's all I also complain about, funny enough, so... So, I mean, this hits on a spiritual level for me. I think
like
so.
The bonus situation stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Like, how many times is that mentioned throughout the film?
It's still tragic seeing John Hurt here. Because, of course, he passed away, I think, around the same time that Bill Paxton did, who was in Aliens. It's just, like, what an actor. But then, everyone here is... Everyone's amazing.
Everybody's got a part to play. There's no one you're like, oh, well, he's not really that part of the crew. I'm like, well, no. Everybody is literally like... There is no main character up until late in the film. And I mean late in the film.
And it's more so on a technicality. Because there's just no one else left who could possibly lead this thing. Like, everything feels tactile. Everything feels lived in. I'm sure even Ridley Scott was saying, like, this movie wouldn't have been made the way it is if Star Wars hadn't been a success.
Yeah.
Because that's... Even that version of science fiction is very dirty and lived in, as opposed to, like, Forbidden Planet or even 2001 to, like, an extent where it's all shiny and full of hope. Yeah. And it's like, yeah, it just wouldn't be. I mean, the computing is a bit. I think that's the only thing that kind of robs it of its time, this sort of stuff. But then at the same time, I actually think it works in its favor because this isn't supposed to be like a top of the range space vessel or anything.
Yeah, I mean, it's just like a commercial towing vehicle.
Yeah, so in reality, actually, I like the fact that the tech is even still
Like,
quite
it's quite
basic.
basic, isn't it? Even
Yeah.
by like future standards.
Mm-hmm. I do like that the AI is just called Mother.
Yeah,
That's a clever one.
like mothership. It's I'm like, oh, we know what you're doing.
Mm-hmm. So I'm pretty sure. I mean, you can probably confirm this move for me because you probably know more about these movies than I do. But I'm pretty sure that all the characters were written. I think bar Ripley, everyone was written without any specific gender in mind.
Yeah,
I think I remember reading about
it was
that.
just we're not really bothered who, like, what gender these people are. We just want people,
Yeah.
which makes it even better because it's just people.
Mm.
They're not people from outer space. They're just people getting on with life in
Yeah.
space. But that's what makes it so interesting. It's just normal.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they're just regular people.
It's like if that was me, I'd be like, holy crap. It's like, even like the outer rim, they're like, they just shrug it off. I'd be like, what the hell? What
Yeah.
do you mean? Outer rim?
Yeah, I mean, like even Sigourney Weaver doesn't have much to do until they're on
Like,
the
you would
planet.
never put two and two together that she would be like the lead character
No.
in the
And
last like chunk of the film.
Yeah, and even to this day, she's still one of the best, like, characters in science fiction. Just full stop.
Absolutely.
Like, I'm pretty sure it wasn't for this one, but I'm sure it was Aliens where I think she was nominated for an Oscar, which I was like, that just doesn't even happen now.
Yeah.
Like, big science fiction doesn't get nominated for anything outside of effects, maybe music, maybe some costume design. Actors and stuff, no, just doesn't happen at all, which is just such a...
It's always like the visually stuff.
Yeah. Now, what doesn't really help this film now is the fact that, like, the biggest issue with it, with all these movies, is that the setup is almost identical. It's just some people wake up, they find a thing, they go down to look at the thing, bad thing
turns out to be
happens.
dangerous, yeah.
Yep, and then they run away.
The thing is, though, it's like, how do you make it different?
Well, that's why I'm curious with the new one. I'm very...
If not
Curious.
slightly worried.
Well, yeah, I mean, I'm naturally worried. It's, for the exact same reason I was worried about Planet of the Apes. Because it's both movies coming out this year, both used to be under Fox, now technically under Disney, both getting some sort of a refresh. I'm like, yeah, you got lucky with Planet of the Apes, but Alien...
But Alien is a whole other ball game.
But I think as well, because we're teetering ever closer to the fact that there's more mediocre Alien movies than there is even good ones.
Yeah.
Like, if we're being really honest.
Well, yeah, I mean, you've got Alien and Aliens. That's about
Yeah.
it.
I think the closest that they've ever come to anything even coming close is probably Covenant. But even then, that one is so messy and jumbled in bits.
Oh, I'm very different with Covenant now. Like,
Yeah, I know you're very...
very different with it compared to where I first was. Like,
I remember just perusing Letterboxd randomly and seeing just like the updated rating, and I was like,
damn.
What happened to him? What has he seen? I mean, there's always bits and bobs that I like from all the movies. I mean, even Alien Resurrection has some interesting ideas. Alien 3, I like in Alien 3. There is bits of that I do like quite a bit.
I think that the screenplay that William Gibson did is just... It's so much more interesting than the actual film is. I mean, it's weird as hell.
That's the one with the wooden planet, isn't it? And the monks.
Yeah, it's odd, but it works.
Yeah.
And I mean, there are things you can do with Alien, but can you make it as good as the first two? Probably not.
Yeah, it's the kind of thing where it's sort of like you would like them to make a one that's as good as the previous two,
Yeah.
but then you wouldn't want them to do one that's better, because then that feels like heresy.
Yeah, I would just want one that is good. At
Yeah,
this rate.
it's just really. I think at this rate, I think we're steering away from the legacy sequels because it's just.
Well, there's just too many of them. We're just sick of it.
Well, I don't even know if it was too many. It's just the fact that The Force Awakens comes along and then revitalizes us, and then a lot of people just jump on the bandwagon, and then within a few years, they just saturated the entire thing.
Yeah, and then you've got like every other genre under the sun just making them.
Yeah, so the closest you can do to make it interesting is like the multiversal stuff that Marvel's doing. With like, well, we can't do a sequel to this movie, so we'll bring that character back from that one, connect it sort of to that one, and then put it in this one. I'm like, why?
It's the fact that like some of these were like just scale models and stuff like that, and yet you make it look as if you're actually there.
Yeah, I like reading about the fact that they just had the model just static, and then they had a little camera just moving slowly past us to make
I'm
it
sure
look like
even
it's
like
moving
some of the
past.
planet stuff was like paintings, and they just did like camera tricks and stuff.
Yeah, matte paintings, which I'm never gonna dislike a matte painting. That's just like,
Because it just looks as good as like a green screen,
yeah.
if not better.
Last thing, so much of this is in camera, and you can really tell.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I know the director of Alien, Romulus, Fede Alvarez, has said a lot about how he shot everything as practical as humanly possible.
Well, I know for one thing, the facehug is 100% practical, because
Yeah.
there was like a behind the scenes of them doing test control with it.
Yeah, and I was like, yeah, that's fine, but like that isn't the reason why we love Alien.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Like one could argue we don't even love Alien for the xenomorph. It's a bit like with Jurassic Park. Yeah,
Yeah, we don't love it for the dinosaur. Yeah, the dinosaur is like an icon of it. It's the same
Yeah.
with this. Like,
but
when you
it's-
watch Alien, like
it's the
alien,
characters.
You know, you're watching it for the characters. You're watching it for story.
Yeah,
You're watching it because it's just an absolute masterpiece of a film.
yeah. And it's one of those things where it's like, yeah, like it's nice that you know, taken like the extra step to make it feel like one of the older movies. But if the character work isn't there, then I don't care.
Yeah.
If the story's not there, I also
Don't
don't care. And that's why I'm just being careful with this one, because I don't want to get my hopes up. I mean, even the choice for Jerry Goldsmith's score is very unlike what you'd expect from science fiction. It's very...
I just don't think you get a lot of stuff like that when you get modern day science fiction films now.
No.
Like, not at all.
No. Like, it's always very, very bassy,
Like,
it's very dramatic.
string based, this, which is very peculiar because science fiction stuff, obviously, you think of, like, well, synths and stuff like that.
The theremin.
Yeah,
Very Star Trek. Probably.
probably.
Probably. I've got no idea. I'll watch, like, the newer ones. Yeah, again, all this, they're just acting as procedure, and yes, I'm fully invested in what they're doing. Any other film might be like, nah, this is just boring.
Like, how they make stuff that looks absolutely humongous on screen, but in reality, it's, like, the size of a glass.
Yeah, nothing will beat using a miniature for this sort of thing. And again, probably just static and just moving the camera
Yeah.
ever so slowly around it to make it look like it's moving. I'm like, yeah, it works. The worst thing is as well is that this film is like so well designed that even if they didn't do a sequel, it would be fine.
Oh, yeah. It would have been absolutely fine on its
Yeah.
hard.
Like, would I have liked to have seen more? Yeah, sure. Would I have liked to have seen the origin for the Xenomorphs? No.
Definitely not.
If there's one thing I never needed, it was that.
It's like the common rule of horror, really. You don't need origins to, like, characters like Xenomorphs or Michael Myers. It just takes away all the creepiness out of it.
Yeah.
Mystery and all that.
And especially with the Xenomorph, which is just a creature that's just... its entire existence is like a mayfly.
Yeah.
Like, it's born, gives birth to something else, and then dies. That's all it's there for.
Yeah. You don't need, like, an origin and how it came about and stuff like that. Just show me it.
And as much as I like aspects of Covenant, I don't really need to see... I never needed to see the origin of the Xenomorphs. I don't know why Ridley Scott ever thought that's what we wanted to see. Like, I certainly didn't.
No, nobody really needed
Yeah.
it, to be honest.
I mean, I would have liked to have seen an earlier version of the xenomorph, which we do see, because I think the neomorph thing is brutal. I love it.
It's morbid as hell, like, but
Yeah,
again, you're like, did I really need it?
I think if Covenants had just sticks with being an Alien movie and then not a Prometheus movie, which is what it does in the second half, which is why it loses me, then I think it would have been a bit better.
I would have liked it a hell of a lot better if it just wasn't like part Alien movie, part Prometheus movie.
Yeah, which you can tell is just so reactionary as well. It's like, oh, people didn't like Prometheus. Well, they're giving us the budget for a sequel. What do I do? Whereas this can just be its own thing. And that's absolutely spot on.
It's like everything in this movie is just believable.
Mm-hmm.
It's like from little things of just checking out the damage to the ship and stuff. You've got lights flashing off, you've got electrical problems and stuff. It's like, I believe this.
Yeah.
It's like it's not just some cheap CGI gimmick. It's like people have actually gone to extreme lengths to make it look as real as possible.
Yeah. Even just that shot just before of the outside of the ship, and they've just superimposed a shot of the inside of the ship over the window to make it look like they're there. Like,
Yeah.
yeah, that's how you do it. Like, no one's dressed like an astronaut. I love that. Like, they're just dressed as just people. I think that's so
It's
great.
like the clothing's just quite casual.
Yeah.
Like they're not in like full blown spacesuits and stuff. So
Like, I like when the group that's stuck in this situation were never supposed to be in this situation.
yeah.
So it heightens the tension immediately.
And then there's like everyone just conflicts with each other because one person says this, the other says that.
Mm-hmm. I mean, it's not to say that you can have like a squad of soldiers going up against the xenomorph. We see that in Aliens and it works. But that's because it's an army of humans going up against an army of xenomorphs, and it's still. But it's also not trying to be a horror film either. It's got the horror there, but it's more of an action sort of thing.
It's not trying to be Alien.
Yeah, exactly. Like, it gets that, yeah, you can't
doing its own
replicate that.
thing.
Let's do our own thing. That's why I don't care if the creators for Alien Romulus come out and be like, yeah, we're very much harkening back to that original movie. I'm like, why? Like, yeah, we know it works, but you've tried it multiple times.
Yeah, don't
You
do
don't
something
need to-
that doesn't need done again.
Yeah. That's why Alien 3 didn't work in a lot of ways, because it tried to be Alien again, didn't work. Alien Resurrection tries to be a bit like Aliens, that also doesn't work. But then Prometheus tries to be its own thing and also doesn't work, so.
It's just very hit and miss, isn't
Yeah.
it? Sometimes things work, sometimes they don't.
Just like little hints towards Ash being an android. I mean, again, you would never know. There's no reason to know. But especially now knowing, like, in Alien Isolation, you have the reference to the working Jaws doing that exact same jog on the spot. And it's like, no, no,
Nope.
stop doing that. How dare you? I don't think they use them at this point, but I know that when they're in the room with the space jockey, they end up using kids in the spacesuits.
It's also when they're walking up towards where you get like a really wide shot of the spacecraft. It's
Right.
kids used in that bit as well to sort of show that like we're really far away.
Yeah, again, that's such a smart idea. Yeah, it's probably them there as well. I feel
Yeah.
like. See, at least it's like proper POV stuff.
Yeah, it's not just some guy with a steady cam.
Yeah, I really despise that. I really
It's
do.
not just a stationary camera. I'm like, follow the people.
Mm-hmm.
No, movement is key.
Yeah. Even something like this, where they're just fixing bits of the ship. Like. Again, that's all they care about right now. Is like, are we actually going to get paid for this? Are we going to get bonuses? Like, I love that.
Yeah.
And again, this is like the second time we've seen Ripley in the entire movie. It's weird, to be honest. It's a bit...
It's odd, isn't it?
Yeah, it's very odd because we know like how important she's going to be later on. But it works as a nice subversion. Especially considering that they said, oh yeah, we're going to have all the other characters bar Ripley. Pick anyone. We want it to be a woman for Ripley. Because they clearly knew that's how we want to end it. Because that was quite new for the genre, as far as I know.
Yeah, having a woman as like the final girl, as it's now called.
Mm-hmm. Which one could say, well, Halloween probably got to it first with Jamie Lee Curtis like the year before. But
still,
again, it was still new.
Fresh.
Yeah, very, very fresh. Yeah, the zeros and ones. And just wearing trainers. Yeah.
You know, like there's nothing there to say, oh, like it's a sophisticated space clothing. It's not.
Nah.
Ah, Jonesy.
The cat.
The ginger cat. Chaos.
Certainly more iconic than the one in A Quiet Place Day 1, where that one just gets you angry. It's like it's too well trained.
It's just everything made to look so believable that, like, all the mist and stuff like that, clearly somewhere else.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, yeah. No, I just love the design. Absolutely. And this is even before we get the HR Giga kind of designs.
Yeah.
It's just...
Because I know he did the ship design.
Yeah.
As well. But it's just unlike anything else.
Mm.
It's just such a wonderful shot.
Mm. Good old derelict. Which, is that actually the name of the ship, or is it just referred to as a derelict spacecraft? Because
I think it's just referred to as a derelict.
I was going to say, because they keep on calling it that. I'm like, is that actually the name of
like,
the
are
ship?
You really calling it a derelict?
Yeah, I was like, well, I mean, there's been weird names. I mean, like, Nostromo is a weird name.
Yeah. I guess weird ship names are just a thing in the Alien franchise.
Oh, God, and then some. Like, even that, they're clearly just, like, recording a map painting. And yeah, it just looks like they're just zooming in on something in the distance. I love that. Like, it's the kind of thing where, like, modern movies and studios and filmmakers wouldn't go to this length to just...
Yeah, like, it's quite sad, the fact that, like, particularly horror films, they never ever get down to this creative stuff. It's sad, really.
Mm-hmm, yeah.
Because there is a hell of a lot of creativity in horror, but it's like getting directors and studios to actually put their heart and soul into it.
Yeah.
Like this. I mean, this has like all the heart and soul you could ever need. Like, visuals.
The music.
Visuals, music, setting.
It's actively trying to do something interesting.
Yeah.
Like, again, going back to Romulus, I'm trying really hard not to. But it's just naturally going to happen. Because I've also just realised that this is actually the 45th anniversary for Alien.
Mm-hmm. Damn.
And I'm mad it wasn't re-released in the cinema here in the UK. I mean, well, at least it wasn't in the big ones. I mean, it might have been in one of the indie ones.
Yeah, maybe.
Because I still haven't seen this on the big screen. We've seen Aliens, which was awesome.
Which was like an experience,
year? Oh yeah, and then some. Alien Covenant I saw on the big screen when it first came out. I think that was the first horror movie I think I saw on my own on the big screen. Weirdly, again, that's 2017.
Yeah,
it's only like 7 years ago.
Yeah,
one of the first times ever where I just went to the cinema on my own, full stop, because I was just used to it being with other people. But I think that was also like a rule for me. It's like, if I do go and see a horror film, I try not to... I don't usually like seeing it on the big screen. At least I didn't at the time, because I thought it kind of ruins it, because some people are just morons when it comes to the horror movies. But then people are just morons in really any movie, as I've noticed. And again, this movie has no interest in explaining why the ship is there, why the signal is
Yeah.
going out, why the aliens are there. Doesn't need to at all. Like, would it be nice to? Maybe. But
But we don't really need it.
yeah, you don't lose anything by not showing it.
I'm sure they made that entire space jockey out of clay. Well, Giga sculpted it,
Oh,
obviously.
really?
But I'm sure they made it out of like clay and then obviously did whatever like mask makers and stuff do to harden it up, and there you go.
I mean, as a set, it's absolutely astounding
Oh yeah,
what they were able to do.
considering the scale of it as well.
Yeah, it's kind of funny though, looking at that set and thinking, yeah, they made it bigger in isolation. Which makes sense because you have to wander around it. But again, it doesn't really matter. Like, it looks, I mean, again, clearly using the kids. Well, not clearly. We know it because we looked into it.
Yeah.
But if you never knew,
But
you wouldn't know.
It's a great idea though because it just shows you the scale of it.
Yeah.
It's like if you've got adults there, it's like, oh, it's not that big. But if you've got kids, it's like, holy crap, this place is absolutely massive.
Yeah, I mean, you could do the kind of thing that Peter Jackson did with Lord of the Rings with the hobbits and sort of like
Yeah.
mess around with the perspective. But when you've got only a small budget, you probably don't want to do too much.
But it's proof that you can make a great film on a small budget.
Oh yeah, but well, I think because you don't get that anymore. Like,
No, you
I'd
don't.
be
It's just studios like Marvel and stuff like that slap like $400 million budgets, and then you get like half decent CGI and a wobbly script.
well, that's the thing. I'd be very curious to see the budget for Romulus. I think that would
Yeah,
be very
me too.
interesting. Like, it's spooky more than anything else. Like,
Oh yeah,
like you really are wondering what the hell happened to this thing.
and you're wondering what the hell even is it as well.
Mm-hmm. And I like how sort of quickly Ash sort of hushes down the idea that it's a warning, not just like
Yeah, you never
uh,
really click on to Ash's slyness until quite late in the film,
yeah,
because him and Ripley are quarreling quite a bit, but you don't really realize it.
yeah. Well, I think as well because it's clear that like especially when Ridley Scott did this, he became more interested in the androids than he was of the aliens. Hence why he went and did Blade Runner, when it was all about the androids.
They're all about the androids.
And then when he does Prometheus and even Alien Covenant to an extent, it's not really about the xenomorph; it's about the androids still. I'm
Yeah.
like that's an interesting way of doing it. I think.
Sometimes it feels like it's a bit lost though. That's kind of another problem I have with those films. It's just too focused on creepy ass David.
well, even when you look at me, I have been keeping an eye on that Alien series that they're doing, which I think is literally just called Alien Earth, which is just rubbish. And I don't know how much of it is actually about the xenomorphs.
Yeah.
I think it is about artificial intelligence, and I'm like, the problem you've got now is that you're doing it in an era where everyone's talking about artificial intelligence. If you'd done this years ago, would probably think it was more groundbreaking than it actually is. That's like one of the only issues I had when they did the last Mission Impossible movie, and the antagonist of that is literally a rogue bit of AI, which works really, really well. It's actually quite spooky.
But if it was done like years prior, then it would have been something else entirely.
Mm-hmm. I mean, the design of the eggs is also really interesting.
Yeah, it's like the marvel of prop making and stuff like this, and you come up with stuff like this is just it's absolutely extraordinary.
Mm.
I mean, all like the moisture and that, there's no detail that hasn't like gone unnoticed.
Yeah. It's like a quick piece of air. Oh, I see, even just like the little droplets.
Yeah.
No, 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 no. I mean, in terms of the actual design of the eggs, I think there's versions in the later movies that I think is done a bit better. I think it might have been Alien versus Predator, unfortunately.
Oh yeah, when they're covered in like goo and stuff.
Yeah.
Ugh.
Because that's the thing as well. I mean, that's my introduction to the Xenomorphs. It wasn't this. It was Alien versus Predator,
Yeah.
unfortunately. When I say it, unfortunately, it's not a terrible movie. It's fine. Like,
Oh,
Like-
even the sound of the egg.
oh yeah, the sound's great. It's a bit mechanical when it opens, but again, that's
It
me
must have been
again.
an absolute pain in the ass.
Mhm.
Like,
Like
doing
that
all the mechanic
looks
stuff.
unbelievably real. Yep, doomed. And then just immediately the tone shifts.
It's just like silence.
Mm,
No like music score, it's just wind.
yeah. But when you think about it, Ash is more than happy to bring him back onto the ship. Ripley's like, no, you're going to be breaking protocol.
Yeah, the guy who's in charge breaks his rules.
Mm-hmm. Like, that's the thing. She could easily react very emotionally and could absolutely pay the price.
Yeah.
But she responds very realistically. Like, they don't know what the hell's going on. They don't know what the hell's going on. So, it's like, well, just in case, for the sake of safety, we can't really bring them on the ship.
And it could have all been avoided
Yeah.
if they literally stuck to quarantine as well.
Yeah, exactly. But no.
But no.
But it's weird because it's not like you don't suddenly turn to these guys thinking, oh, you guys are absolute morons, all of you should die. Like, both of them have... It's just a very realistic reaction from everyone,
Yeah.
really. Whether it's, oh, we want him on the ship, oh, we don't want him on the ship. There we go, and then there's Ash. Like, it's funny, really, like, even if Ash was never revealed to be an android or anything, I don't think it would have hurt the film too much.
Nah.
Like, it doesn't need the reveal that he's an android, but it adds to the world in general. Like, there's more going on than just the creature running around on the ship, looking for a friend.
Oh, the noise. It's like when you cut a melon in half. I mean, they might have done something very similar. I remember
nah.
seeing that for the first time and thinking, ugh.
Yeah.
Because
No,
that's what it's
absolutely.
designed to
Yeah,
do.
yeah. I think because there wasn't really anything out at the time that decided, yeah, let's have an alien that impregnates a person. That's how it's born. It's like, that's just deeply
Especially like there
invasive.
is nothing. It's like, well, we can't get it off him because if we get it off him, it's going to kill him.
Yeah. But I think as well, when you go back to the way that H.R. Giger designs things, and it's very, yeah, it's quite mechanical, but it's also, it's weirdly erotic, I think is the way that people would describe
Yeah,
it.
I think there was. It's like when they do like the autopsy and like the organs and stuff like that. Like they try to represent like sexual like reproduction and stuff like that.
Yeah.
I know there's loads of like behind the scenes stuff in various like alien books I've got. I can't remember all of it, but there's definitely some bits that are ringing a bell.
Mm-hmm. So like even the concept of the facehugger is just very just invasive. It's very wrong.
Which I think is what makes loads of people uncomfortable.
Yeah, as it should, to be honest. You shouldn't look at it thinking, "Oh, like absolutely not." If you do, there's something very, very wrong with you.
Oh.
Yeah, even just its movements.
Like when you hear it just tightening around his throat,
Yeah.
it's just oh my god.
I think the movement of it in Aliens is better when it's just running around. When it's attached to someone's face, I think it's better in Alien. But then there's not really been any other movie that's really
No,
done
definitely
it for
not.
this prolonged a period. So even just the little bits of like its tail just like tightening around the neck, and even like the little like crackling sound it makes. But I think it's just spooky as well because it's not like he's in any pain at all, or at least if he is, you can't
Yeah.
see it. It's just looks like he's sleeping.
Again, it's like horribly invasive. I'm like,
Yeah.
oh, can you imagine that?
Mm-hmm. I'd rather not. Yeah, again, little moments like that, where like Ash is like, no,
It's just like
just
admiring
give us like
it,
an extra
yeah.
minute. Just give us a moment. Yeah, see that? Even then, just like I want it off him. If he dies, fine. He dies, but at least it's off him. And the acid for blood is such a genius idea.
Oh, it is. And I love the score bit over this.
Yeah.
Where they're just going down deck by deck and it just starts getting a little bit more tense.
Mm-hmm.
Like it almost matches it dripping. It's
Yeah.
brilliant.
Yeah, it's the first time that the pace has actually quickened as well.
Mhm.
Like everything else has been quite slow. That's like why I go back to I don't end up watching this film as much as Aliens
Yeah.
because this one is
Because Aliens is like the faster, more rampant
yeah,
version.
it's in the nicest way possible the more commercial version
Yeah.
of Alien.
Whereas this, it's like you're getting full blown horror.
Yeah,
You're getting rewarded for your patience.
yeah, it absolutely rewards you. Well, yeah.
But considering it's burned through like 3 layers of hull
And a pen.
and a pen.
3 layers and a pen. Like, right, it must be bad. Yes, it does.
And that's where you like really wonder what kind of thing this actually must be.
Yeah.
If it's got acid for blood.
And it's weird because even then you're still like, oh my god, I'm wondering what the hell it is, but it's still not like, oh, I really want to know what its
Yeah.
deal is. Like, it just like, can you not just kill it? Like, now?
Please.
Yeah. Even just an astronaut with like a Hawaiian t-shirt on.
Like it's so casual for
That's a
being in
mood.
space.
Yeah.
Like there's no like fancy pants terms or anything like that. They're just messing on trying to find a fix for it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, yeah. Like even then, like they're still talking about like just getting the job done and going home. That's yeah, all that's going on. But again, just people.
Major alien isolation medical bay vibe here.
Yeah, let's not talk about the medical bay, or at least let's get nostalgic about Alien. Let's not get nostalgic about the hallways of Alien Isolation.
Very similar.
Because I'll be thinking about it again, thinking about it. Like going back to with Ash, like you wouldn't think he's an android, but you can clearly tell he's got something else going
peculiar
on.
about him.
Yeah.
Because it's the same with like Bishop in Aliens.
Mm-hmm.
Like if it isn't revealed that Bishop's an android, like you'd be in the same boat as like what it is with Ash. You wouldn't find out until you find out.
Yeah. I do really like that relationship between Ripley and Ash because it's. I'll just be curious as to how volatile it's always been.
Yeah.
If it's just now or if it's always been like.
Because I think even like the Warning bit, as you mentioned before, you kind of like these two really just don't get on that well.
Mm-hmm. Get him told. Like, it's weird, even though Ash is still technically a villain, he is technically right. It's like, you don't actually know if
Yeah.
bringing him in was better or leaving him outside is better.
Gotta wonder like what would happen if it was literally the other way around.
Be a short film.
I mean, yeah, it would be incredibly short.
Yeah, or just something else would happen.
The alien's just outside, not inside.
Well, to be honest, like, you could even do that. It could be like, you've got people locked up in a cabin in the woods, treated like dog soldiers, to be honest. Like, that's basically the version of Alien where the alien's outside and is just trying to get in.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, it'd be quite difficult with this ship, but that could still work.
It still would work, yeah.
Yeah, as opposed to be people trying to get out, you're trying to stop someone getting in. Which is probably more of a slasher thing, I suppose. But
Yeah, definitely. It sounds more like it, but anyway.
like I say, going back to the fact that you still don't really have a main character.
Yeah, it's like anybody's guess.
Yeah. Like, it'd be funny if Harry Dean Stanton was suddenly revealed to be like the lead character of the film.
Yeah.
It would probably die very, very quickly. It's like, oh, I'm in charge. No. Not for me, thank you. So even just this, just like, okay, the facehugger's gone. None of the doors have opened. Where the hell is
They're
it?
just so puzzled by it.
Yeah.
Got a foreign thing on board. They have no clue what it is, and now it's gone off the guy's face.
Mm-hmm. Again, with just the atmosphere alone. There's
No score, no nothing, just silence.
No. Because you don't need it. Don't need it at all. The thing is, well, this film's been on for what, nearly like an hour?
Hmm.
Still, that's the closest we've gotten to the Alien. Again, a lesser filmmaker would have been like, nah, give it 10 minutes, then we'll bring the
Yeah, they
Alien
just
in.
would have gone straight to like revealing it as quick as possible.
Yeah, because I like to think that that's what people are there for. It's just the monster. Like, no.
Build it up, because then if you just reveal it straight up, you're just wasting it.
Yeah, exactly. Like, if you're gonna do it in a different genre, fine. If you're gonna do horror, don't do it like that. Oh, he knows. He absolutely knows. Blah. No, 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 no. Just no. All of the no's. It's probably the best designed of all the facehuggers, I think.
Oh yeah.
But also because it kind of has to be right now. Because at least you're actually getting a good look at it.
It's like even this bit, I'm just like always like, ugh, gross.
Yeah, I think it's just like so like the liquid that's all over it. It just makes it look like it's alive.
Yeah. Like you're always like, oh my god, is this thing actually gonna like just jump out at any minute?
Yeah, I think if it just looked very, very plasticky and whatever, then it would just look very, very fake. Now that'd be a very different film.
Zombie face hugger.
Hey, you know what? I'd be fine with that.
Zombalians.
Yeah, well, there is like an avenue for doing that, I think. You know, if you're able to find a way to bring a facehugger back to life, what the hell would it do when it tried to impregnate you?
Yeah.
What the hell would happen after that? So even that, I really like the fact he's like, no, I'd rather just cart this entire thing off to someone else because then I don't have to deal with it. Yeah, still throughout everything, still just a lot of tech talk.
Yeah.
Just a lot of work talk. I mean, I appreciate in movies like Dune where the ships just kind of just elevate and drop down without like any sort of worry at all, like no engines or anything. It's just very static. But then I like stuff like this as well.
Again, like scale, just such an important thing in this movie to make it look so real.
Mm-hmm.
Just like a tiny little model, and yet it looks like as if it's right there in front of you.
Yeah, exactly. It still works. Even to this day, even 45 years on.
Yeah.
Pretty sure that this was Sigourney Weaver's first film as well.
Bloody hell, really?
Which, if it is insane.
Yeah.
And then back with the score of Goldsmith.
That's just such a brilliant score. It's just so unlike it for science fiction as well.
Well, I know they always wanted Jerry Goldsmith to do the score, so a lot of the movie was temp-tracked with his music, but I think he was quite upset with the music that temped it with, because he wanted to go in a completely different direction. So I think at one point he was like, maybe I don't do this because we're clearly on a different wavelength.
Yeah.
And they're like, well, no, still give us what like you've got. And then he did, and then they're like, yep, that's absolutely fine. So I do like how on the Blu-ray at least there is a version of the film you can watch where it's just the score. Don't get anything else,
Yeah.
which that's a nice thing to do. I don't think I've watched it all the way through. It's a bit of a weird.
It just makes you appreciate the score, doesn't it?
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. $10 months. Well, he's clearly watched a film.
Brett's lines.
Because,
Right.
because like, if you were to do that realistically, you'd be like, yeah, he's awake.
Yeah, you'd
Not
be
be
like,
like,
it's
come and see
probably
him.
better to come see him. Well, that could mean anything, Ash.
Yeah, it's a bit like,
Given there's a weird monster thing that's just attached themselves to his face, it could be anything, mate.
yeah, it's just like the stereotype of guys. You've got to come and see this.
It's like, it could be anything.
Well, he's not too far off, to be honest.
Yeah, it's really not.
When you think about it. Shut up, Ash. And he didn't even say a word.
Honestly,
And I'm
that's
like,
me,
shut up.
that. Can we just get something to eat now? That's
Yeah.
me.
Oh no, it's the Last Supper. Let's get religious again. And when you think about it now, he is just studying everyone.
Yeah. It's like you never really click on until you've watched it a couple of times.
Mm-hmm.
It's like he's just observing people at this point.
Yeah.
Observing Kane in particular.
Mm-hmm. Kind of get the sense that Ash already knows about what the xenomorph
Yeah.
even is to begin with, so it's like, no, no. I didn't even know about this scene when I first watched the film. I'd done really well to avoid that.
Uh-huh.
So even just the chest burster sequence just was an absolute surprise to me. Which,
It was for me when I first watched it as well, like no clue about it.
yeah. Ugh. And it's all done in one take as well.
Yeah, which
Like,
is just
what the hell?
amazing. It's the fact you can like still hear the heartbeat and the thumping of it as well. It's like, oh
Yeah.
my god. I love when it just scurries off.
I mean, yeah, it's just anytime now. I just think of the Spaceballs version of just dancing away, and now it becomes a completely different movie.
Oh yeah. Things are about to change.
Oh yeah, it's gonna get big real.
Quite dramatically.
You know, if anything, I would just love to see, like, literally in camera, how quickly a xenomorph actually grows.
Yeah.
Because the way it's presented in the movies, it feels like it's minutes. I'm thinking,
Especially
that
in this
must
one,
hurt
yeah.
so much.
Because it's like 1 minute you're jettisoning the body,
Mhm.
next minute you go looking for him, it's like a full blown adult.
Yeah.
Like, damn, this thing's got a quick growth acceleration.
Mm-hmm. Oh, Jerry.
Such like a gentle score, but then like when it needs to be
Yeah.
scary, it just ramps it up.
I still love the design of the Nostromo as well.
Oh yeah.
Like, it's just, I mean, for one, it's just a weird design. I've always thought it just looked like a set of buildings sort of like lashed together.
Yeah. It's like a little floating city almost.
Yeah. See, once again, the isolation rocks up with.
Yep.
And again, we definitely mean that as a positive because that film, I mean, that game, I should say, absolutely nails the look, the feel, the tone of Alien to a T. Well, to an E, I suppose. That's the thing, they're not even like, I mean, their ideas are actually really smart.
Oh yeah, like they're
They're
not
just
stupid.
Yeah, they're not just running around being like, I don't know what to do. I don't know what to do. I'm gonna give
Maybe
it to
it's
someone
in
else.
here. We'll prod it here.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't think the net's gonna work.
You know.
Would it be funnier if the Xenomorph had actually gotten to Jonesy?
The Jonesy morph.
The Jonesy morph. So it's actually just a furry version of the Xenomorph. Which,
Yeah.
oh.
Sounds quite horrendous, actually.
Yeah. I mean, one could say at this point it does kind of become a slasher film.
Yeah, very similar because it's just literally the alien hunting down everyone else.
Yeah. But then you just never see it because it's like when they pitched it, it was Jaws in space, and they absolutely do.
Oh
that.
yeah, it's absolutely Jaws in space.
Because, I mean, both are done for, I guess, like the same logistical reason, that being the actual costume or the prop doesn't hold up too well on camera if seen for prolonged periods of time. But then it means not seeing it and just hinting at
It's
it.
just finding like the middleman.
Mm-hmm.
Like you don't want to reveal it too much, but you don't want to not reveal it at all. And here it's perfect.
Yeah, that's kind of why I'm hoping whatever Xenomorph we get in Romulus. Okay, I'm referencing that a lot. I haven't seen the goddamn movie yet. I'm hoping you don't see the Xenomorph too much. Like
I hope they've kind of gone back to basics with like monster movie stuff, where it's just like keep it in the shadows for a bit.
Yeah.
Reveal it when needs to be revealed.
I mean, one can only bloody hope.
Yeah, I guess we'll see. Again, the isolation vibes right here.
Like the spacesuits, the weird cube things on the wall,
The silence,
the light,
the silly little movements in the dark.
yeah, the tracker, all of us just. Ugh.
I bet when like audiences saw this bit for the first time, I can imagine it was like really nail biting.
Mm-hmm.
Like it still is for me. Like I'm like,
Yeah.
oh crap. Like I know what's gonna happen,
Yeah.
but obviously for audiences the first time around, I imagine like, holy crap! Like is it gonna be the alien?
Mm-hmm. Careful, guys, careful. We know exactly what's in the cupboard. It's not an alien. Yep. It's the cat.
It's like they're almost relieved it's the cat,
Yeah.
but then they know that they've got to go back and get it.
Yeah, it's a little bit of levity. I like that.
I go get it.
Nope, unfortunately.
My bread.
Bye. We'll see you in the next scene. Oh, wait. I'm sure like Harry Dean Stanton was saying he wanted to refuse to do this because he just doesn't like sci-fi or something like that. But I think it was like Ridley Scott was like, nah, it's more of a thriller than science fiction. He's like, fine. He's like, I get that. I get it.
Johnny.
So I know in terms of the director's cut, I know there's a little bit more
To this
added to this
scene,
bit.
yeah.
Yeah. In particular when we see the xenomorph for the first time. But I mean, you could watch either one of them and it wouldn't
Doesn't really
matter
make that
too
much of a difference, I think.
Yeah. I think it'd be funnier if it was the cat that survived this entire thing. No one else.
It'd be like a complete what if.
Yeah.
What if Jonesy survived? I just love how like lived in all of it looks.
Mm-hmm.
Like it's rusted and all this stuff's been used.
Yeah.
Ugh.
Yeah, shedding its skin like a snake.
The fact that he's covered in like goo and stuff like that, and I'm like, oh god. I think it's like from this point you're like, yeah, this is like no ordinary thing with
No, it
here.
definitely isn't. And again, with the set design, just...
It's just impeccable. Like,
Mhm.
films really have to just go back to basics with stuff like this because it's
Yeah.
just what makes them so spectacular.
Like, we don't need it to be absolutely massive with massive rooms and hallways. It just needs to look...
Just needs to look
Tactile.
real so you can actually be invested in it.
Yeah, exactly. Mm-hmm. Got the chins.
I just love the atmosphere of this scene so much.
Yeah, and again, no score or anything.
Just sound.
Just shadows moving across the wall as well. It's like, nah. I'm done before like he's even walked into the room.
Done before he even gets through the door.
Yeah. Even just the rain as well.
Yeah. And
Like
there
just
he
yeah,
is.
that is I still think that is actually one of my favourite shots of the xenomorph ever. Because it's just it's
so
just
quick
there. Yeah.
as well. Like if you're watching this for the first time, you probably won't pay attention to it because
Yeah.
it fits in so well with like all the other machinery.
Well, I mean that just comes back down to the design of the xenomorph.
Yeah.
Like it's got like it looks a bit mechanical in
It's like
bits.
mechanical, but it's an organism at the same time.
Yeah, so it fits in with the rest of the ship weirdly. And I think we can all agree that the xenomorph is probably still the best design of an alien.
Yeah,
Ever.
I'd say so. I think it's like the skull of it because it's so creepy.
Yeah. Yep.
And the fact that like it's a big tall bloke in a costume. Can't remember his name. Don't even know how to say his name.
Yeah, it was like
But-
7
But
feet
he's like
tall or
7
something.
feet tall. Yeah.
7'2". Had never done any of that. I think he'd done some modelling work, and I think
Yeah.
I'm sure I read somewhere that they actually found him in the pub.
And he's like, you.
And I
You're
was
my
like,
alien.
I'm like, how lucky was that?
I thought the pub of all places.
Yeah.
You're my alien.
Yeah, he always I'd take like lessons on how to move as slowly as possible, and like, especially because I mean, in terms of like the visibility, well, there probably isn't any, to be honest.
Very little of it, I'd assume.
Mm-hmm. Now, of course, Brett wouldn't be alive. I mean, what would be the point? The last thing I like is the fact that even though it's birthed from a human, it doesn't act human at all. It's
Yeah.
got no desire
There's no
to
like
even...
human trait to it whatsoever.
Nah.
It just uses it primarily as like, thanks for birthing me.
Yeah, I mean, like, it's inquisitive, for sure, but it's only interested in killing. Yeah, like, even right now, like, they are thinking very cleverly.
It's like we've tried everything else, but temperature, we haven't
Yeah, it's
tried that.
It's like,
Animals fear fire.
So this is an animal. Maybe it'll
This
be
is
scared
some
by fire.
creature of some description.
It's like, well, if you played the game Alien Isolation, like us, me 6 times, god damn it. Because heaven forbid I played
Alien
anything else.
Isolation, you'll know the flamethrower.
Yeah, and the flamethrower works about 3 times before it decides, yeah, you know what, I don't mind this at all, it's alright. It's basically a toy at this point. I think the sound design as well really helps.
Oh yeah.
Like,
It's like even the little things of like just doors closing and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, the vents. The vents.
Yeah, even the fact that Dallas is like the 3rd victim, I like that quite a bit. Because I think they could have easily made him be like the penultimate victim, but no, they actually make the captain the 3rd one to die.
Yeah.
First Kane, then Brett, now.
Now Dallas.
Mm-hmm. It's like everyone's dying in very different ways as well, which I quite like.
Yeah.
Like, Dallas is a lot more claustrophobic, naturally. Let's face it, I think that's probably one of the worst ways to die in isolation. Is
Oh.
through the vents.
It's just when you think you're safe.
Yeah. And then who pops up?
Mr. Alien.
Mr. Morph.
So I think this is one of the best scenes in the film, is because it's just so claustrophobic.
Mm-hmm. And again, you never see the alien, you just see it
It's like
beeping across the monitor.
quickest glimpse at it.
Yeah.
And you actually see like a chunk of its face and its hands. That's it.
Mm-hmm.
And then the screen goes static. Oh, the vent noises. The noises, Regan. And that score just slowly creeping in.
It's the kind of score where it's like, I don't feel like I'd listen to it very often on its own.
Nah.
Because it complements the film so well, but also isn't used too much. Which I think Jerry Goldsmith was a bit disappointed with. I think he wanted to use more of it. But I think, to be honest, for what you get, it's absolutely spawny. It doesn't need to be everywhere all the time.
Yeah.
Even just the sound of the sensors all the time. Or even just the sweat on everyone's faces.
Yeah, it's like everyone's like so worried.
Yeah. Like, it makes sense considering the set is probably unbelievably hot.
Oh, I can imagine.
Where nowadays it would just be, oh yeah, we'll have as much aircon as possible. I'm like, yeah, actually, you know what? It would be much better if you just warmed the setup just a little bit. Oh, it'll be coming. It's okay.
No,
It's okay, Lambert.
solid
They're coming.
Don't you worry. Don't you worry, Dallas.
Oh, nearly.
Nearly, yeah.
Very nearly the Jaws theme. Uh-oh. It's like, I don't know where to go, to be
There's
completely
like
honest.
no rash decision because he just doesn't know what the hell to do.
Yeah. And again, with Ash just being like, yeah, I know what's going to happen.
Yeah, he's just. He
It's
knows.
all going to plan.
It's all going according to plan.
There we go.
It's like the briefest shot.
Yeah.
But it's like. Holy hell.
Mm-hmm.
Seconds long.
Well, no, I mean, not even a second.
Yeah. It's like, hello, goodbye. I love how quickly it just spirals into chaos.
Mm-hmm.
It's like everyone's at each other's throats now.
Yeah.
Things just on a rampant. Anyone can be next.
Mm-hmm. Well, then you just get rid of Ash, don't you?
It's like even the morbid of like, we'll draw straws. We
Yeah.
stays behind. It's like people are just so desperate now.
And now to this point, you really feel like, okay, this is actually Ripley's movie now.
Mm-hmm.
And unfortunately, that's how most of these movies end. Unless it's not set in space, like Alien 3.
83.
83. Well, that's Parker doomed. Then Ash is probably just being like, yes, that's fine.
Cha-ching!
I think as well, especially considering how much she really doesn't like him, even before she realizes he's an android, and then seeing her reaction to Bishop and aliens, how quickly she just assumes, he's
Evil.
bad. Yeah.
Evil androids.
Mm-hmm. Wonder if the new one will have an android. No more references, I promise. To a film that doesn't exist yet. Well, it does exist, but.
I think it was something about like that particular room. They just filled it with like little LEDs.
Yeah, it's weird. Like,
oh my god, like imagine just sticking like your job on that set is to just light up all of that room with tiny LEDs. I'd be sick of my life.
Yeah, especially like how much faff it would be for what's probably about a minute of screen time. And it's like, could you just not do it a different way, please? Trying to remember why they decided to call it. I mean, I know they don't call it a xenomorph until Aliens, but I'm curious what gives them that name. That's a very specific.
Yeah.
Because there's no name for it. It's just the alien.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure that's why they decided to call the movie Alien, but mostly because the term alien was used so much in, I think, the original versions of the script. They're like, yep, we're going to have to call it this because we can't think of anything else.
Can't really call it organism.
Oh, there you've got, crew expendable. Yeah, that just tells you everything. I'll just lock him in. Actually, no, maybe don't lock him in with the computer.
Yeah, probably won't help.
Yeah. No, I don't want to open the door. God, I hate those doors so much.
Yep.
Oh, he's so stressed, he's milking from his forehead. That's not how I meant to word that.
I love that spin around shot.
Mm.
It's so great.
Yes, of course, and now we have a second villain to deal with. One who at least is
Now
very,
we've got an
very
alien.
human. Yeah.
Now I've got a bleeding android.
But again, it's really interesting because it just really adds to the world building.
Yeah. It's like it's not the only problem on the ship.
Yeah. Then it's a problem that's just been watching them the entire time. So all of a sudden, it's like suddenly it could be considered far more dangerous.
Oh yeah.
Suddenly, that's a worse way to go.
Not the Kalimar.
Kalima Ashtide. It's the wrong side of the chest, Ash. Yeah, then you get the sound of oh, there we go. I think at one point, I think at some point that's a little person in there that's sort of manning that while it's
Yeah, I can imagine. So much milk as well.
And
Ugh.
yeah, and considering that Ian Holm absolutely despises milk, I don't know if that was because he was lactose intolerant or he just absolutely hates it.
I mean, I hate milk as well, like, so.
Ugh. So you're an android as well.
Oh no.
Good to know. Yeah, now it just becomes a body horror film.
Yeah, it's very like The Thing.
Yeah,
I'm sure like those like the bits of wire and it's like spaghetti and stuff like that.
yeah.
It's like cold spaghetti and like milk and stuff.
Oh, I'm sick of science fiction films with crazy monsters and weapons divisions. Happens a lot now, and it's like, who thought that was a good idea?
Now, first they try to do it with aliens, then dinosaurs,
Then dog soldiers.
then werewolves.
Ugh. Next it'll be vampires. Next time it'll be zombies. And it's like, why? Ew.
I would have been sick. Like,
Hi, Ash. Have you found your head? know there's probably a way of killing it, surely.
Maybe just a couple.
Yeah. I mean, he's not wrong.
Even though he's like a dissembled robot, he just sounds so sinister still.
Yeah. No, I love
Like, I admire its purity. I'm like, oh my god, you are a weirdo.
I mean, I definitely love how distorted the voice is now.
Oh yeah. It's like, you just got screwed up, you damn android.
You just got ashed.
You just got ashed. You just got Parkered.
You just got bishoped.
Like, even the last bit. Like, the grin.
Mm-hmm.
You have my sympathy.
Well, it's fine now because there's three of you, so you can just run away. Yeah, definitely make sure you blow up the ship. Definitely
Absolutely, that's the key part.
Yeah.
Blow the ship up.
Yeah, take a leaf out of the Michael Bay book. Just blow it up.
Explosion.
Yeah. Oh, he just burns Ian Holm, the actor. How dare you? Ew.
Not the working Joe
Oh,
face.
now it's the working Joe face.
Not the working Joe face.
I mean, yeah, naturally, the working Joe is definitely the more
Creepy.
terrifying one. Yeah, creepy. Yeah. But I think as well, because, I mean, I've always loved the design of how, like, the skin sort of, like, sags at the neck.
Yeah.
Just, nah. Whoever thought that this was a nice idea is a terrible, terrible person. Oh, that's what we're going to do. We're going to do what we try and do in all these movies. Just blow it up into space. Just the amount of detail on the model.
Yeah. It's just everything, like, in every scene, there's just an, like, incomprehensible amount of detail.
Yeah.
But it just brings it to life so much.
Mm-hmm. And again, back with the...
So you've got an interior shot, then you've got an outside shot looking in.
Yeah.
And it just... The scale of it, it's like, yeah, we want to make this look, like, big.
I mean, now it just looks like they're shopping in IKEA, if I'm completely honest.
We're shopping for oxygen tanks.
Every time I go to IKEA, I'm always looking for those godforsaken oxygen tanks. Never have them in stock. Maybe do it a bit quieter. I mean, that's... I mean, like, I know they're panicking. I get it. I do. Dr. Jones? And once again, we still haven't seen the Xenomorph properly for ages.
Nah. Just lurking in the shadow, doing xenomorph things.
Doing math.
doing math.
Just off in the corner, doing some homework. Every time it comes up to a person, it's actually asking a question about the maths homework and they start getting scared and angry. I don't know, and I know I've said it before, but this at this point, this is absolutely the slasher version of Alien.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I'm fine. It's all good.
Fine, not panicking or anything
Yeah.
like that, just totally fine.
Jones. No, don't do the kitty thing. Didn't work for Brett.
Why should it work for you?
Yeah. Just because you're now the main character doesn't mean you're safe yet. Now we can have a little bit of the score again.
Just
Only a
a
little bit.
slight bit, though.
Yeah.
Keeping it back a bit.
Yeah. Two jump scares with that Fakata cat. No, I think it would be equally tragic if, like, by the end when they both go into hibernation and that cat has already been impregnated.
I would have cried, man.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. It's fine. It's okay. It's all good. Well, of course, the one who's been panicking the entire time is the one who panics when they die. Even then, you still don't get a good look.
No, not a properly good, long, hard look at it.
No. I would quite like to know how much screen time this thing actually has.
Yeah,
Like, it's gotta
very
be
surprising.
minutes,
Yeah,
surely.
single minutes. Like,
Yeah.
no way it's going to be like 10 plus minutes.
Mm-hmm. Oof. Ew. Just one left. I also liked how all the sets were built sort of like together, so that everyone felt like they really were
Yeah.
on a massive spaceship. Rather than having like, oh yeah, this set here, this one here, this one here, this one here, it's all connected. Now that's a reaction.
Just makes it look as if like it's just one ship.
Yeah. And again with the POVs. Oh, I recognise that sound already.
Mm-mm.
No. Oh, I recognise those as well.
Oh, no.
Well, they're a bit easier to pull in the game.
Just a bit.
Just a little bit. Recognise that sign as well. Hee. I mean, it really says a lot that the only way to kill this thing is to literally
Blow up the ship.
yeah, blow up the entire ship.
It's like not a word of dialogue, it's just in the moment.
Yeah. And we're saying the full thing as well. I mean, I'd be curious if, like, the rest of this is accurate to 10 minutes. It'd be nice, but I wouldn't be shocked if it wasn't.
Yeah, I
Because,
think just for like pacing wise, it probably isn't.
oh yeah.
And here's the bit where people have a grudge.
A grudge?
Yeah. Well, I'm assuming this is the bit with the nest.
Yeah, so the nestish.
Nestish.
Yeah. Which, to be honest, yeah, I'm also... I mean, I wouldn't say I don't like it. I just don't know how well it fits in with continuity with aliens when it's the queen that creates the nest.
Because I think there was like the theory that, like with it being on its own, it's like an asexual thing, so it can't just lay eggs. So it impregnates itself.
Mm-hmm. I mean, I like its inclusion.
Yeah, definitely. 'Cause it just adds to the weirdness of this totally, like, unidentifiable alien.
Mm-hmm. Especially because it changes up the whole logic, because then we realise that, okay, maybe not everyone's actually dead, they're just being kept alive. I mean, yeah, that's morbid as anything.
Oh, yeah.
But also, like, if this was Ripley, like, an hour ago, she might have hesitated a bit more on actually killing them.
Yeah,
but because she
definitely.
knows how dangerous this thing is, like, no, I'm not even taking any
Like,
chances.
she's literally the only one left.
Yeah.
Not taking a single chance on this thing.
Mm-hmm. Maybe just one more reference to Alien Isolation. Maybe that. Just like the one more.
The alarms.
Yeah. Yeah, the alarms, the ladders, the creaky corridors.
Scuttling through the corridors, just
Yeah.
praying the thing isn't behind you.
Alarm sirens, the alarm lights. Though not carrying a cat this time. Luckily, you didn't have to do that in the game.
You were carrying enough in that blooming game.
Yeah. No, that wasn't 2 minutes. Luckily, I haven't got a severe case of epilepsy right now.
Yeah. You never get like a full-on glimpse of it.
No.
That's what I love.
And that's fine. You know, you absolutely don't need to.
Brief clips of it and it's just enough.
Yeah.
Not Jonesy.
No.
Like, damn, what is that cat cage made out of?
Kryptonite. See, that was 2 minutes. Like, what?
More
So-
to this alarm, more to the self-detonation. meets
Yeah.
the eye.
Well, then to confirm, then that means that no, it doesn't play out as if it's like 10 minutes.
Yeah.
I think maybe the theatrical version might, because I'm pretty sure even the death of Lambert is different in the regular cut. I think it's a lot more rapid.
I think so. Yeah.
Eh. Well, crap.
Bugger.
I literally could not care.
Yeah, she's like, screw you. Ship's gonna blow up, I guess.
I'm the wire. I mean the mother. Maybe not that reference. Let's not reference that infernal thing. Yeah, it's always like, yeah, there's the alien to deal with, then there's always something else to deal with as well. And it's like, which one is going to be the worst
Which
thing
one
to
is
deal
the
with
bigger
right now?
problem?
Yeah.
It seems the times the alien and it seems the less of a problem.
Yeah.
It's like, I've got an exploding ship and an organism to run away from and save a cat.
Again with the flashing lights.
Oh, yes. The overwhelming.
Yeah. I feel like at this point, you'd end up just switching over to the xenomorph every now and again, just seeing it running around. And I was like, you don't need to. You really don't.
Because it's just tense enough as it is.
Yeah.
Jonesy and the invincible cat carrier. Alien was like, I don't like cats anyway.
Or even just something as how long the takes actually are as well.
Yeah.
It could be a lot quicker, but now they're just following them and just... This is going to be the world's longest 1 minute, isn't it?
Yeah. A snail's pace 1 minute.
Yeah. Yeah, just run. Or just slowly move.
Slowly descend. It's not like the ship's gonna blow up or anything.
Yeah, it's fine.
There we go.
Even just that shot of how long the ship is as well. Like, yep, yeah, hurry up, hurry up, hurry up, go on, go on. Badoo. I mean, I think seeing the explosion like 2-3 times, I think is a bit much. I'm not quite big on the design of it.
Yeah, it's...
Like that, like even that's just nah.
It feels a bit much, like, doesn't it? I think
Yeah.
just one big explosion. Don't think it would explode like 3-4 times over.
Yeah, it's a bit too 2001 for me.
just a tiny bit.
No, I wouldn't calm down.
Yeah, you sure you got it? You sure?
Yeah, I'm not quite sure yet. I think like even like the shot when you just see Ripley in the corner and then like you see all the pipe work in like the background and you're constantly looking at it thinking,
yeah, you're like examining it as like, is it actually there?
Mm-hmm. There's just like a brief release of tension, just like, oh, maybe.
Yeah.
Just maybe. Yeah, we'll get the cat out, it'll be fine now.
Calm us down. Emotional support animal.
God, and then some. It's alright, Jonesy, nothing happened, it was absolutely fine.
Think if it's anything, he needs his support, he just got yeeted across his ship.
Yeah, this happens to me all the time. It's like the first time in like well over an hour that it's actually just a little bit quiet.
Just
Yeah, it's like a
nothing
little bit
too
of peace.
scary, nothing,
No.
nothing sinister going on.
No, just a
yet.
little bit of peace.
Just a tiny bit for about 10
Yeah.
seconds.
Just a little bit of peace before everyone becomes pieces.
And then some.
He's gonna go and read a book.
Why not?
Yeah. See, the fact I mean, obviously, if you've seen the film multiple times, yeah, you can absolutely see it.
Oh, yeah.
But if you had no idea...
Peekaboo.
Yeah. Nah.
Even that got you.
Yeah. But even just, I just question how on earth it got to the shuttle before she did, and how it even knew that that's where it was going. Like, well, where she was going. Like, it would have no idea. It doesn't know what on earth a shuttle is.
It's just like, oh, another place.
It was literally born an hour ago.
Yeah.
Just like, I have been on this Earth, well, this ship, for 1 hour.
Find me a new home.
Yeah, we'll leave it to the cat to deal with. Like, it's done absolutely nothing for the entire film. We should let it be the one to do it. And even now, you still don't get a good look at it.
No. I think that's like the first time you get a good look at its hands.
Mm-hmm.
That's it.
It's still as silent as anything. That's the thing, at this point, you just sort of sat there thinking, right, what on earth else is there to do?
Yeah, definitely.
Like, you can't really blow up this shuttle because there's nothing else.
You know, what are you going to do? Float away in a cargo crate?
Yeah.
It's slimy.
Not quite as slimy as the ones in Alien Resurrection, but what the hell do I know? Let's not reference that one anymore.
No.
See, I think this is the closest where you get to like a stereotypical spacesuit, which I quite like. It's like
Yeah,
big and
like the
bulky.
white of it.
Yeah. I'll still absolutely despise the fact I still haven't seen this on the big screen. That just infuriates me.
with it being 45 years,
It's just...
it is a shame, but I think for 50 they'll 100% have to.
I might not be here when it's when it's the 50th
50th
anniversary, 2029. I mean, what on earth's going to happen in that year?
Anything.
Anything can happen. I just like how I was lying there thinking, well, I could move. But it's really cozy here, to be honest. It's
Having
like...
a little nap.
Yeah. Oh, don't be singing now. Oh yes, because it's because it doesn't mind when you're singing.
Doesn't mind the old nursery rhyme.
Yeah, it's like, no, it's fine. I'll not kill you yet. I'll wait
I'll
until
wait
you
till you're
stop.
finished.
Yeah. So you better hope it's a really long song. Ouchie, ouchie, ouchie. That hurt quite a bit. I'm gonna have to come and teach you a lesson. And again, still don't get a
Still
good
no
look.
proper glimpse of it, no.
No. Like, if those lights weren't flashing, then yeah, you'd get a very good look at it, but...
It's just like parts of it. I mean, like, you've got of the dorsal things.
Yeah. The dorsal pipes.
Pipe
We'll call them as opposed to... Oh, what a shot. Hello. It's like, oh, can I not just stay?
Please.
Like, please. Like, what have I done to deserve this? I mean, it does look a bit silly there.
Yeah, I mean, it is very, very clearly a man in a rubber suit.
Yeah. It's like, no, I'll go now.
I'll go with the engine.
Yeah.
It's like a little mouse. It's like, come on. It's cold out here.
And see, and even Covenant, like, regurgitates this sort of
yeah.
idea.
I'd rather watch this scene 4 times over than that monstrosity of a bloomin' tribute.
Yeah. It's like, well, you better hope it doesn't just survive in space.
You better hope.
Yeah. Well, last officer. Well, a little bit longer. Then even then, virtually all of these have always ended with some sort of signing off.
Yeah, definitely.
It's kind of goes to show how difficult it is to do a continuation of Alien unless you just do it completely differently, like with Aliens. Which, funny enough, that's exactly what happened with the Terminator. It's like, the first two, make them differently. Everything else, nah, it doesn't quite work. Now, it would be a lot funnier, I think, if throughout the credits there's just like a little dot that's just flicking across the stars. Just like, I'll make it! I'll make it! But no, unfortunately not.
No.
No, I mean, your final thoughts?
Still an absolute brilliant film.
I mean, it's
I
alright,
think
isn't it?
without this, you wouldn't have a hell of a lot of films.
Yeah, absolutely.
I think a lot of like sci-fi films really don't take Alien enough for granted. Like,
no.
yeah, even without making a horror film, but like Alien is just such an important film.
Well, even then, like going back to the way they pitched it with Jaws in space, everyone got the wrong end of the stick afterwards. It's like, oh yeah, we're here for the alien. Like, well, some of us are, but we're not there for
No, you're there
it.
for people. You're there for people in a situation that's just like, what would I do?
Yeah, exactly. And it's, once again, it's the characters and the story.
I mean, yeah, the alien is just brilliant.
It's just like an added bonus, basically.
But it's just a bonus.
Yeah. So I think, well, obviously, absolute classic.
Yeah, definitely.
Absolutely deserving of one of the best movies of all time, still 45 years on.
I I think like the aim now is like we have to see this on a big screen at some point.
Yeah, if it doesn't happen, I'm gonna get angry. Or I'll get even angrier if I have actually seen this film on the big screen and I've just forgotten.
I definitely haven't. Like,
But I don't
100% definitely haven't.
Like, if it was shown at the Tyneside Cinema in Newcastle, I might have seen it.
Yeah.
But I don't think it has. I'm pretty sure. Again, I'll get mad if I have.
Yeah.
I'm probably getting mixed up with 2001. That's probably why I'm thinking, did I see it in the cinema? No, it was definitely 2001 that I saw on the big screen. That was a long one. But yeah, that's our rambly commentary on 1979's Alien. So thank you very much for listening. I do hope you enjoyed it. Like I say, we do plan on doing quite a few more of these.
Just a few.
A few more, yeah. We've definitely got ideas. So thank you very much for listening, and we'll see you in the next one. Goodbye.